So now we have Library Square here. We dreamt, Moshe Safdie and I won the competition because we had an amphitheater on the roof, we had a poet's garden on the roof, we had wonderful planting areas, beautiful trees, but then came the province and said, you can't have that, we need the space, and Bing knows the story better than me. And we wound up with a green roof. You can look at it. It's not good enough. It's not what we thought would be a library square. So what's left of this nice idea, we'll see in the next slide. There are people coming out of the library to the little amphitheater. But why is nobody, the next is the amphitheater, I think. Yeah, why is nothing happening there? No musicians, no music, no dancing, no clowns, nothing. Because there's no commitment on behalf of the city to have a program there. So that's a dead space. It's not what we want. And the paving, prefabricated paving, absolutely awful. But this is what I have to work with when I work for most of my landscaping money at the National Gallery of Canada went for doorknobs. So here, this was a wonderful idea for beautiful paving, and in the end it wound up about this prefabricated stone, whatever it is. Next. So that's what happens to an idea. Next. Next. In the olden days, that was the opening of Robson Square, we had a skating rink that worked. We had a gorgeous performance platform where dancers came, musicians came, and people were sitting all over it. You see them even up there near the mound, staring down to see performances. Well, after a while, all that vanished. There was no commitment for programming. And so the skating rink died because the coils died. And when you said, well, in Bryant Park, they don't skate with coiled water freezing. They just have a blanket down and you skate. Well, people thought you were nuts. So now we hope someday it will be renovated. But here you see the paving pattern was very well thought out with prefabricated stone parts and strips of granite, and very well articulated. So this was Robson Square in 1980. Next. And at the opening we had a huge gathering, music, lots of people, and everybody had fun. There were restaurants down there was a food fair there was the Old Bailey. It's all gone. So of course nobody goes there. So what you need is a place to find a hub where people gravitate to, where people can be made feeling good. So next. Here's some more. The water is swirling, so that was pretty good. Next. And on an ordinary day, when there wasn't much happening, people still sat in the restaurants, on the stairs, at the food fair, and enjoyed themselves. So this was in the city. Next. So, if we want to animate public spaces, we are going to listen to what is good for us today in the 21st century. That is different than in the 1970s. We think differently about the city. We think differently about our needs. We are an urban place. We live in smaller apartments. We don't live anymore in houses. So we need the open spaces in order to recreate. And that's not the open spaces that are parked with lawns and gardens and flower beds and all the stuff. We need urban spaces that give us shelter from the rain or the sun, but not what we needed in the middle of the 20th century. we need funding for what we want, a continuity of programs, not have this once and never again. We need built-in seating and movable chairs, and not park benches. We need shade from trees, that's very good, and increasing the biomass with trees is good. And we need shelter to have performances and music. And above all, we must leave the car at home and have access to public transit. And so these ideas I've thrown out for our discussion, and I hope to hear from you about